everybody. This is Victoria Smith with Take the Lead Canine Training, and you're watching episode number 5 of Foster Dog Friday. Thanks so much for tuning in. The idea behind this series is to help people get information. We're talking about people who have dogs in rescue, maybe people who foster dogs, maybe somebody who's recently adopted a dog, or even if you have a dog at home that's got behavioral issues that you're struggling with. This series is meant to help give information to point people in the right direction of creating a dog with better behaviors, helping us introduce new dogs into our home, helping foster families be able to live more harmoniously with these foster dogs, and ultimately help these dogs become well-rounded, well-socialized, well-trained, and then place them with families so that they can stay there. A lot of times dogs get adopted out, people struggle, and then they return the dog to the shelter or the rescue. And the idea here is if we can get the right information to people, we're not going to have that struggle. There's a big movement right now about rescuing dogs and fostering dogs, and there's so much passion and so much love out there for dogs. It's incredible. The problem is love isn't the only thing that's going to help these dogs get adopted, and it's really important that we realize that training and a well-behaved dog is probably one of the most overlooked things in rescue, but one of the most powerful things to keep a dog in a home. So a lot of people surrender dogs, turn them into shelters, or turn them into rescues because they're having problems with their dog's behavior. Some things as simple as pulling on the leash and not being able to take your dog on a walk. Other things that are a little more serious with like separation anxiety or behavioral issues that are showing aggressive tendencies or leash reactivity with barking and lunging at other dogs. The biggest struggle here is we just don't know how to communicate properly with our dogs, and so it leaves a lot of things up in the air, and we get a lot of dogs who are trying to figure things out on their own. So last couple weeks we've talked about introducing a new dog to the group, whether it's your family, whether it's your pack of dogs, whether it's the first foster dog or the first dog you brought home and you don't have any dogs at home at all. The best way to introduce a dog to your family and the best way to guide this dog to be the most well-rounded dog it can be. We talked about the honeymoon period where a lot of people get a false sense of security and then they accidentally nurture and create a dog who's going to have some behavioral issues later because we didn't set the tone and we didn't build a working relationship with the dog when we first got him. So today I want to talk a little bit about what we can do as we talk about bringing a dog into our family, and as we talk about diving into that honeymoon period, diving into those first few months with a dog. What can we do to make transition the easiest for our family, for our pets, and for our new dog? Something that's really valuable that I think more people should look into while we train are controlling our dog's resources. And when we talk about that, that means their food. A lot of folks will train a dog and they'll use treats and they'll use little cookies and things like that. And I'm not against food and training at all. I use food all the time with the dogs that I train. But instead of using treats and cookies, I actually use the dog's daily meals. I think it's a great way to build a relationship with a dog quickly. You're getting to know a dog that has no idea where they are, who they're living with, who these other dogs are, and you have to build a relationship quickly. The issue here is a lot of people try and build a relationship through just hugging and nurturing and cuddling a dog, where that can lead to a kind of lopsided, wonky relationship and develop a dog who has separation anxiety or develop a dog who develops some anxieties about the house, and they get nervous and they don't really know how to cope with being in a new place because the person around them, although we love our new dog, has been very soft energy, and so it leaves our new dog feeling a little vulnerable and exposed. A better relationship to build with a dog, and a great way to build a quick relationship with a dog, is using their food. So training is one of the most important things you can do with a new dog in your life and a new dog in your family. And it's going to help you create a better behaved dog in the world, for your new foster family, for the family who adopts this dog. Training is a must. You can use the dog's daily meals to train the dog. It's really easy and it's really fun actually, because it gets the dog thinking about earning a paycheck. They're working for their meals, they're working for their paycheck, as opposed to just getting cookies along the way. You know, it's one thing if we can have a Snickers every night, but it's a whole nother deal if I've got to work to pay for dinner. So what I want you to think about doing, instead of using treats and cookies and cheese and turkey, save the high value stuff for really special occasions and use your dog's daily food. The idea with feeding your dog and through training by using their kibble and not just using treats is you're becoming more valuable. It's making you be somebody who's got something that they need. They need food. And if they look to you to get that and they realize they have to work for it, you create a drive, you create a motivation in a dog to want to learn things and do things. So many dogs get so lazy. They're never really asked to do anything. And unfortunately, because they're not asked to do anything, they don't. Or they do a lot of things that entertain them, and then we get frustrated. If we can show a dog what we want it to do through training and motivate it to do it by using their food, you can use their daily kibble. It's such a great way to get repetitions in with a dog and teach a dog without a dog getting fat or getting an upset stomach because we're just throwing a bunch of treats at him. We're using your daily portions. We're just using it through training. So it's such an amazing way to make you more valuable to a dog, to make this new dog be like, oh man, I've got to really connect with her. We've got to work together. We're building a relationship, an engaging, mutual enjoyment to work with each other, because for me to survive, basically, I mean, that's what it comes down to. For me to earn what I want, what I need, I work with you. We've all got to work to pay the bills. Just get your dog to work to pay the bills too. So what we're trying to do by using kibble instead of treats is get this dog engaging with us, get them waking up in the morning ready to work. If we can build some drive and motivation in these guys, it's going to be a lot easier for us to teach them what we want them to do. They spend so much time, kind of beating to their own drum and making their own agenda. If we can motivate them to get them to want to work with us by using their daily kibble instead of just treats, we've got a dog who understands, oh yeah, I've got to work to eat. We've all got to work to eat. We've got to work to pay the bills. So do these guys. And the cool thing is, dogs want a job. Dogs want some kind of direction. And if we show them that you're working to eat, work with me, engage with me, and we can teach you some things, these dogs do so great by having guidance. We're just motivating them to work through training as opposed to just have a bowl of kibble and I'll give you a couple treats for sitting. If we get them using their daily meals as motivators and as rewards for training, obviously we have to get a lot of repetitions in, because when you've got a dog this size, it takes a lot of kibble to fill them up, but you get your repetitions in so you get practice. Save your treats and your high value stuff for big distractions. When you're out somewhere and it's really stressful and distracting, yes, use something high value there. If you're dealing with behavioral issues and you want really great tasty stuff for when people come in the house, or you're dealing with resource guarding or something and you're trying to counter condition stuff, you can certainly use high value then. But when it comes to general sit down place, learn some stuff, right? Learn how to be calm in the house. Let's get them using their food and not treats. Then we're not getting chubby dogs and we're not getting upset stomachs. And we've got dogs who are motivated to work. They wake up in the morning let's go. What are we doing today? A motivated dog, a dog with a job, is a happy dog. That way we have a dog who wants to problem solve and figure out what we want them to do, as opposed to a dog who we don't give direction to and they make up their own routine and then we get frustrated by what they're doing. Resource guarding is a serious behavior that can get a lot of dogs into a lot of trouble. If you're not familiar with resource guarding, it's a dog guarding something that they see valuable. So it could be food, it could be a bone, it could be a leaf on the ground, it could be a person, it could be their crate, it could be a toy. They find something valuable and they growl, snap, or even start a fight. They become protective and controlling over this particular resource. You have to be super careful when having other dogs around or people around, because dogs will resource guard against other dogs and they'll also resource guard against people. You have to be super careful to figure out what kind of relationship do you have with this dog? How does this dog feel about resources? Am I putting him in a stressful situation by asking all the dogs in the house to chew a bone beside each other? Probably so. I'm a big advocate of yes, you can have valuable resources, but I want it to be in a very safe and structured way, so the dogs can all have their bones in their crate, or the dogs can all have their bones when they're individually on place. I want all the dogs to feel advocated for, and I want them to feel pressured that there's dogs circling around and getting close to their bowl or getting close to their crate while they have a resource. It's not cool. You've got to see what makes your new dog or the dogs in your home comfortable or uncomfortable. You've got to be very delicate to that. The more you allow dogs to feel uncomfortable, the less trust they have that you have control of the environment. The cool thing is, if you're working for their food, if you're spending time training your dog, hand feeding your dog, working for kibble throughout the day, throughout the evening when you get home from work, and you're building that relationship with the dog, you're associating yourself with a food resource. So it makes it a lot easier, especially some of these newer dogs, to build trust in you handling their food. A lot of dogs coming from the shelter are hungry, they haven't had the best nutrition. You know, you don't know these dogs' history sometimes, and so they can guard a bowl. You give a dog a bowl and you walk back over and he hunches over and he growls at the bowl. So you've got to be careful of that stuff. But if you're handling the food, if you've got the kibble in a bag and you're kind of hand feeding through training, you're going to have a dog who looks to you as like, hey, you're awesome, you give me resources, you don't try to take them away. I want people to be really careful when they talk about they want to put their hand in their dog's food bowl and have the dog be okay with them eating. Those are very confrontational things. It's much easier to teach the dog to leave the bowl with the out command, to back away from a bowl, to spit out a bone and move away from it so that you can take it, as opposed to you going in and reaching and grabbing something from a dog. I know as puppies, a lot of people are encouraged to handle food bowls and stick your hands in there, and if you've done that with a puppy from the beginning and they're great with it, awesome. But you have to be really careful with adult dogs that have behaviors, that have stressors, that have triggers, because it's a good way to get bit. So don't be confrontational with resources. Do your best to be fair, to be giving to a dog, but don't be confrontational. So don't go and stick your hand in their dog's food or feel like you need to be able to pet your dog while it eats. Those are all good ways to stress a dog and make it uncomfortable, and for a dog to lose trust in you. Again, we're trying to get these new dogs to trust us, and they're going to lose trust in you if your other dogs are bothering them while they eat, and if you're pestering them while they eat. It's totally different if you're engaging them in training and you're working on stuff, but if you're just sitting around saying, I should be able to pet you, you're my dog, that's a lot harder for a dog to digest, and they feel like they're kind of getting bullied. So be careful about handling resources around dogs. The best way to do it, be non-confrontational, teach them to out or drop it, and back away from the food or back away from the ball, back away from the toy. Then it's not so confrontational and you can reach in and take what you need to take. Alright guys, if you have any questions about anything, please let me know. I'm going to have some links about training stuff in the description here, and I'll try and include something about the out command as well. Again, you'll see me using food in a lot of videos. Food is an amazing motivator, and it's such a great way to connect with a dog. So don't waste that opportunity to build a relationship with a dog by just throwing in food in a bowl and giving it to a dog. Like, work with him, like get him engaging with you, make yourself valuable for this guy in a way that moves forward your training relationship and doesn't just create a dog who wants to sit on your lap all day, but you've got a dog who wants to learn. Because the more we can teach these dogs about the environment that they live in, the more we can help them make better decisions in their home and in their new adopted homes, in your foster homes, in public and around other animals, the easier it's going to be to place them and the more motivated this dog is going to be to do the right behavior. So, alright guys, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye! Hey boy! Hey buddy!